Welcome to my opinions on popular book boyfriends and male main characters that I enjoyed reading about. Today we're talking about Xaden Ryerson from Fourth Wing, Rhysand from A Court of Thorns and Roses, Kai from Powerless, Wes from Better Than the Movies, Jack from Love Theoretically, and Sam from Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I will try and keep this video as spoiler free as possible, and I will include an X if I do include a spoiler so you know which minutes to skip. Let's talk about our first character analysis, Sam from Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. The reason why I wanted to start off with Sam is because he is the outlier of all the other male main characters that we're going to talk about. Sam isn't tall, stereotypically handsome, or wealthy to begin with. Sam's grandparents are Korean immigrants who migrated to America. Sam is raised by a single mother and she passes away when he's young. What I'm trying to say is that he isn't our 6'5", blue eyes finance guy, but he is one of my favorite male main characters. His love language is definitely acts of service. Sam has a bad leg, but he still walks to the other side of the town to make sure that his friend is okay, and he does that multiple times. He also programs a computer game just for her so that she has a place to escape when she's battling depression. He is smart, considerate, hardworking, and loving. For those who haven't read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, it's about two people who develop games together. Their relationship often feels more than just friendship, but never goes beyond friendship. They are often in love, but they're never lovers. And this dynamic is hard to explain, and you really have to experience it for yourself to see how Gabrielle Zevin describes it. The two main characters, Sam and Sadie, they meet when they are 11 years old at a hospital game room, and they bond over their shared love for video games. They lose contact with each other because of Sam's big ego, but then they reconnect when they're in their early 20s. Sam convinces Sadie to make a PC game with him, and their first game becomes really successful, and they start their own video game company. Sam's character feels really relatable. He wants to be rich and successful. He gets jealous towards people who are more conventionally attractive than he is. He doesn't like showing that he has a disability because he doesn't want to seem weaker or inferior compared to other people. I really enjoyed reading about Sam because he was multi-layered and he felt like he was really well developed. Now let's talk about Rhysand from A Court of Thorns and Roses. I just finished the second book in the series, and it's in the second book where we really get to know about Rhysand, and I think we fall in love with him before the female main character does. Rhysand is an extremely powerful and extremely handsome Lord of the Night Court. For those who haven't read A Court of Thorns and Roses, it's about a human girl called Feyre who gets dragged into the fairy world. She initially fell in love with another lord from another court, but then she started to feel trapped and suffocated. Instead of smothering her, Rhysand lets her be free. He gives her space to heal, to grow, and to learn. I think Sarah J. Maas tried to draw similarities with Feyre's first relationship to a relationship that could be abusive. In the beginning, we know Rhysand as this flirty bad boy, but we learn that this character that he portrays is only to protect those that he loves. We learn that Rhysand is a good guy and he recognizes the strength in others. I like how he respects each person's autonomy and how he teaches Feyre how to read and write when he learns that she is illiterate. The only negative thing that I have to say about Rhysand is that he often acts first and then asks for forgiveness later. For example, in the second book, he teaches Feyre how to use her powers in a meadow, but he uses it as an opportunity also to lure any enemies that might be hunting Feyre, essentially using Feyre as bait. I wish he would include other people in his plans, regardless of how sure he is about the outcome. Other than that, I really enjoyed the long build-up and tension between him and Feyre, and also the spy scenes were nice to read. I'm curious to see whether my opinion on him changes as I continue reading the rest of the books in the series. Now let's move on to Xaden from Fourth Wing. He is another tall, dark, handsome, and powerful male main character. He is very confident and self-assured. If you haven't read Fourth Wing, what are you waiting for? Fourth Wing is a fantasy world where the main city called Nevera is protected by an army called Dragon Riders. To become a Dragon Rider, you have to attend this academy that is incredibly brutal and very competitive. The male main character meets Violet, our female main character, as she enters the training program. He initially wants to kill her for revenge for what her mother did to his father, but then he can't resist his physical attraction towards her. I like reading how he tries to fight this internal conflict as he is training and teaching her throughout the book. One of the other character traits that I like is that he is really self-sacrificing. He has 107 scars on his back that represents 107 children from the rebellion, and if one of the children betrays Nevera, then he gets killed. I'm excited to read more about Zane and Ryerson, and I heard that Rebecca Yarros is going to release 3 more books to the series. Now let's move on to Kai from Powerless. Kai is another one of your tall, handsome, powerful male main characters. He is witty, overprotective, and he often gets confused at his own romantic and mushy feelings towards the female main character. Powerless is a fantasy book that is similar to The Hunger Games. Peyton, our female main character, is poor and steals for a living. She finds herself getting chosen to compete in these purging trials, where these trials are super deadly. There's only one winner and the rest often don't come out alive. Kai and Peyton both get entered into the purging trials, and Kai finds himself protecting Peyton in these trials. Kai not only protects her in the trials, he also teaches her how to fight and also how to dance so that she doesn't make a fool of herself in front of the elites. Kai has some really witty lines that make you smile when you're reading the book, and he is one of those guys that fell in love with the female main character first. In the second book, Kai learns about the truth and he doesn't believe it blindly. I like how he wants to hear things out and see things for himself. I feel like he is the embodiment of the "I will burn the world down for the girl" quote, but somehow in the end of the second book, he doesn't fight as hard as I would like for Peyton. I can't wait for Lauren Roberts to release the 3rd book in the series to find out more about the character. Let's talk about Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. Before we delve into Jack, I want to warn you that Ali Hazelwood does have a formula with her male main characters. They are often really tall, really handsome, and really big. They're so big that their body looks like a refrigerator. And Jack in Love Theoretically is no exception. He is described as having really handsome masculine features, a deep cutting voice, and is a feet taller than all of his relatives. Love Theoretically has a enemies to lovers trope, but for some reason the female character is the only one that's doing the enemying. So Love Theoretically is about Elsie, who is a physicist and works as an adjunct professor during the day. Her day job doesn't provide her with enough income, so she has a second job where she is a fake girlfriend. She meets Jack Smith, the brother of her favorite client, at a family event where she introduces herself as a librarian. She doesn't think that this will backfire until she meets Jack Smith at the interview panel for the job that she is applying for. Jack's character isn't the most complex, but he does provide a really nice romantic escapism. He never lets his own career growth needs stunt how he can help and support Elsie. The book is a comfort read and I am not upset about that. I think I am a sucker for the long-suffering and quietly pining male main characters. Please let me know if you're enjoying this content by hitting the like or subscribe button. Better Than the Movies is the least spicy and cleanest book out of the list that we've talked about today. It's about Liz, who enlists her neighbour Wes to help secure a date with Michael to the prom. Liz has liked Michael ever since she was little, and Michael has just returned back into town for senior year. Wes is our male main character and he gives off really strong golden retriever vibes, but despite this, Liz never really saw him as boyfriend material. I really enjoyed their back and forth banter, and the reason why Wes is on this list is that he is very unproblematic. Wes isn't too good to be true for a high school boy. He isn't too forward or flirty, he isn't overly confident or arrogant, and he isn't perfect, so he really feels like he could be a real teenager at my high school. One of my favorite scenes of Wes is when he helps Liz get a makeover and he chooses some new clothes for her to wear, to then realize that he actually prefers her quirky and unique style. And that's a wrap on my analysis of my favorite book boyfriends. If you are looking for a book to make you feel giddy inside, then these are my recommendations. If you have any recommendations for me, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching.